The National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola has asked the Gauteng Police Commissioner Elias Mawela to submit a report on the arrest of Advocate Malesela Teffo. Teffo, who is one of the defense lawyers in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, was arrested when the case was adjourned yesterday afternoon in the High Court in Pretoria. Teffo's attorney, Thobane, says that Teffo was facing a trespassing charge, but that the charge had been cancelled. The warrant is understood to have been issued in January. Teffo represents 4 of the accused in the Meyiwa trial. So let's go to Hasina Gori for yesterday's sitting of that Senzo Meyiwa murder trial that ended with high drama as defense lawyer Advocate Malesela Teffo was arrested this just after the presiding officer adjourned proceedings. Now, it's expected that Teffo will appear in the Hillbrow Magistrate's Court this morning, and that's where our reporter Hasina Gori is following that story for us. Hasina, good morning. So let's just get a break because you've been following these proceedings. Exactly, just a quick recap and where we are at this morning. What will he be appearing on, the charges that is?
Good morning, Sakina. Yes, quite a busy and dramatic week at the North Gauteng High Court, where after a long time, 8 years, the proceedings and the trial finally began in this murder of Senzo Meyiwa. The first state witness has been called, and we spent most of the week hearing testimony from Sergeant Thabo Mosia, the forensic officer who arrived at the scene just after midnight. That was almost 4 or 5 hours after the alleged shooting took place. He meticulously took us through his evidence in chief and explained the evidence that he found when he got to the scene, explaining and detailing what he saw from the hat to the walking stick, as well as the bullet fragment that he found, and explained to the court, especially during evidence in chief, how he went about collecting those forensic evidence. However, after that 1.5 days of hearing those kind of testimonies, he was then put under cross-examination by Advocate Malesela Teffo, and he started chipping away at this evidence. Really, the big sticking point which Advocate Teffo was very concerned around was whether or not there was tampering of evidence. And just before the break of lunch yesterday, we had that assertion by Advocate Teffo that maybe that when Sergeant Mosia arrived at the scene, almost 4 or 5 hours later, that scene that he saw was actually a stage scene, claiming that, or alluding to the fact that there may have been top brass of the provincial police as well as government at the home of Kelly Khumalo's mother in Phosphorus in 2014 after the incident, who were there at the scene, spoke with the family allegedly, and then only after they had left, Brigadier Ndlovu, who was the officer at the scene at that time and quite a high official in the provincial police department, then only called Sergeant Mosia, and that's one of the assertions that Advocate Teffo put to Teffo and to Mosia, and asked him whether or not he thought that was possible. Mosia, who says he's a 16 years in the field forensic officer, says that would be highly unlikely. He claims that the family was too busy, ensuring that the victim, got assistance to be more worried with the cleaning up of the evidence or the scene. We also had that one bullet fragment that was found, which is alleged to have come, or the state wants to link to that Parabam 9mm pistol. However, Advocate Teffo says the lack of cartridges at the scene either claims that the scene was cleaned out, or that this was another firearm and not the one that they are linking to accused number 3, who's supposed to have been the trigger man in this incident. There's also the issue around the hat that was found at the scene. The DNA, Advocate Teffo claims from his reports, or what he has information of, it's a female's DNA. However, the state did object to that. Yesterday, we also saw, the state objecting to the manner and bringing heads of argument, an official, complaint regarding the manner in which Advocate Teffo was cross-examining Sergeant Mosia, saying that this was, beyond the scope of his expertise, and that evidence that he had given with regards to forensics and ballistics should be expunged. Just after lunch, when we thought cross-examination was going to be continuing, we then heard his instructing attorney taking the court into confidence and saying that yet again they were being intimidated and they were facing threats, that just at lunch they were told of this imminent arrest, and they asked for an adjournment, saying that could not continue under these circumstances. And what we saw just as the court ended and was winding down for the day was that tactical unit with an investigating officer who we didn't have a name of as yet, coming into the court to arrest Advocate Teffo there on that warrant, which is allegedly issued in January this year, according to Advocate Teffo, who we spoke to just after he was taken into the holding cells in Pretoria, telling us about the charges, saying that the trespassing charge, he did appear in court, it was cancelled. He also has a cancellation of the warrant, which we've seen that copies of. So he doesn't understand, where these warrants now come from. We're still trying to get some confirmation from police. All they've said, and it's what we've been hearing, is from both the police ministry as well as the general commissioner, saying that national commissioner, that they have noted the arrest and they were waiting for information. There's no indication whether or not what these charges are that he would be facing here today. When he does arrive here, we're told that from what they understand, he would be here, and we're not sure at what time yet. We're trying to get some clarity from the NPA as well as to what exactly are these charges and what can he face, and what does this mean also for the Senzo Meyiwa trial, which is expected to sit again at the end of this month. So this is just the what we know so far, regarding this. Also, Advocate Teffo told us yesterday that the warrant of arrest that was brought to court yesterday was actually a fraudulent one. So it's going to be interesting when we get into the court later today, and these issues do come out and we find out what exactly are the charges and whether or not it was a fraudulent warrant of arrest that was used to issue that and play out that arrest that we saw quite publicly yesterday. That's it for now, Sakina. We'll keep you updated through the day as proceedings and developments occur.
And Hasina, just a quick one. Given the spectacle from yesterday, are there many people at the court already?
So it's quite early yet. We know court's expected to start at 9 o'clock, so not yet, but I'm expecting that we would see quite a lot of interest, in here as from the public, those that, know Advocate Teffo, and as well as from the media as well.
Thank you so much, Hasina Gori, and of course SABC will keep you up to speed with those developments. Let's take a quick break.